What is up, everyone? Jake Paul vs Gervonta Davis just got announced, and I actually have zero clue what to think of this. Now, I knew this fight was eventually gonna happen. If you guys didn't think this fight was gonna happen, you don't know nothing about the sport. You don't know nothing about boxing. You don't know nothing about politics, and you clearly do not know anything about money. This fight is happening. I believe October or something. What's after October? It's happening sometime. This fight is happening sometime. November. It's happening in November. November 14th on a Friday. Uh, that's how Netflix likes to do their boxing fights on Fridays, which I do like because first of all, it's free if you have a Netflix subscription. But I don't even care about all that dates, whatever. How did this fight come about? We have zero clue. I'm kidding. We do have a clue. A clue. Jake Paul's been calling out Gervonta Davis. They've had their little back and forths. They've had their little mutual respects to each other. Gervonta has said good things and bad things about Jake Paul. Jake Paul, same for Gervonta Davis. Now, how the heck is this fight even sanctioned? It's not. This is gonna be an exhibition because there's simply no way for them to make this a pro fight with Gervonta Davis probably walking around at 150 pounds. He fights at 135, and Jake Paul walking around at probably 210, fighting at 200. So how are they? What are the weights for this fight going to be? My guess is we heard Jake Paul say before he would go down to 185 for Canelo. I don't believe he would go down to 185 for Gervonta. He could go down to, they could do something like 189, 188. It's going to be hard for Jake to make the weight, but I think he can make that. Considering he said he can make the weight for Canelo down to 185. It's not going to be anything lower than 185 though. I think that's pretty obvious. Jake wouldn't be able to make the weight. My guess is Jake Paul's cap for his weight is going to be 190, and he might even have some rehydration clause on this. Gervonta Davis, I assume he's not going to have a cap on his weight, so he'll probably come in this fight probably 155, 160. I don't think he'll probably want to bulk up too much. So yeah, let's talk about each of these guys' career paths. I first want to talk about Gervonta Davis because this thing it kind of makes sense to me. Now Gervonta Davis hasn't liked boxing for the past couple years. He said it in interviews. He even said it earlier this year or even late 2024 that he's done after a year. And this is my tell that he really is. I guess he's not rematching Lamont Roach. I thought that was already booked and signed, and he took a different direction. This tells me Gervonta Davis isn't chasing the gold anymore. He isn't chasing boxing legacy anymore. Unless he still is, this doesn't really make sense to me right now. Gervonta could have waited out for this after he did all that, after he rematched Lamont Roach, which I think he would have beat Lamont Roach in a rematch. But I guess Gervonta Davis doesn't have the passion he used to have, and he sees a huge bag in this. I know he's going to be making a bag off of this, and this is... We got to shout out Jake Paul, man. This guy's making history. He's revived boxing. If you think Jake Paul hasn't revived boxing, you don't know what you're talking about. Jake Paul is the reason all these big fights are happening. And you're simply just you don't know anything if you don't want to admit it. Jake Paul is doing things different. He is making the boxing game better. He's bringing more eyes to it. And here he goes again, bringing hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions of people to boxing again. Him versus Mike Tyson had around 70 live concurrent viewers on Netflix. I think I used the right word, concurrent. This will probably have around there. And depending how they promote this, I assume they're going to do a bunch of press conferences. They're going to have like at least 3 press conferences. Going to be probably in different parts of the United States. This is going to be in Atlanta. As you guys know, I'm from Atlanta. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm probably gonna pop out in this fight. I'm probably gonna be there, ringside, square side, because it's actually a square, not a ring. I'm gonna be there ringside, probably watching Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis get down. Um, yeah, let's just talk about the politics of this more. I didn't really write a script for this video, but whatever. No, not the politics. Let's just talk about Jake Paul's greatness and what he's doing. Uh, no, let's talk about Jake Paul's legacy. Uh, he said he wants a world championship. This isn't gonna get him there, obviously, and he knows that himself. But this is a fight. This is a fight that Jake Paul should take. Now, does he get brutally knocked out? I don't believe so. I really don't. I don't think there's no way Gervonta Davis's power is going to be able to carry like that. And this makes me very, very curious how this fight is actually going to go. Considering it's an exhibition, not going to be on the pro records, are they going to take this 100% serious? I don't know, man. These guys are two young guys, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're going to beef at the press conferences, but in the back of their head, both of their heads, they're smirking at each other like we're about to make a bag. And let me tell all of you haters, gonna be hating on Jake Paul, gonna be hating on Gervonta Davis, saying this is ruining boxing. You don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna be hating, but you're also gonna be watching. You are easily gonna be watching, and you're gonna be talking about it. You're already talking about it now. So you're definitely gonna talk about it while it's happening, during the lead up, after all the press conferences, after their first face off. And see the size difference of Jake Paul walking around at 210, 215, and Gervonta Davis walking around at 150. This is a 65-pound difference that we've never seen before in boxing. Now, we saw Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is decently bigger than Gervonta Davis. Logan Paul, much less boxing experience than Jake. Worse at boxing than Jake. Not a good boxer. Jake Paul, pretty decent boxer, a good boxer. Much bigger. He's bulked up a lot now. Gervonta Davis much smaller. This is a weird, but here's the thing. This is Gervonta Davis in his prime. This is prime Gervonta Davis. He's 30 years old only. He still has devastating power. Will that power be able to transfer? I don't know. Now, how's this fight actually going to play out? We have zero clue. We'll see during the lead up to press conferences. We can get an idea of how they're going to fight. I really don't know. This could go like three ways. Let's break it down. One way, Gervonta Davis goes in there and pieces up Jake. Doesn't put him away, but pieces up Jake for 10 rounds. I believe this is going to be a 10-round fight. I think it's pretty obvious. No point in going 12. It's an exhibition. I said again. It's going to be 10 threes. Pretty obvious. If it's 12 threes, great. If it's 10 threes, great. I doubt it's going to be less than 8 rounds at least. This might be an 8-round fight. Whose advantage does that go to? I don't know. Probably Gervonta's, maybe. I don't know. So this could go one way. 3 ways. Pause. Gervonta Davis knocks out Jake Paul. Oh my god. Jake Paul. Second way. Jake Paul knocks out. He's too big. Okay. I don't think Gervonta Davis could knock out Jake Paul in this. I really don't. So, let's break it down one way. Gervonta Davis wins the because no one can win this as an exhibition, but everyone will know. Gervonta Davis wins this by just outpointing Jake. Maybe keeping out of range, just bolting in, does what he regularly does. Similar to Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. It could be very similar to that. But just Gervonta just getting his points in and hitting a couple power shots. And showing that skill gap in one of the best boxers we've seen ever. Yes, I'm saying Gervonta. I'm not saying he's the greatest, but I'm saying Gervonta Davis is one of the best boxers we've seen ever. You can fight me on that hot take. I don't care. He is one of the best ever. Not greatest, but best. There's a difference. Or second option, Jake Paul actually TKOs Gervonta Davis by being too big and simply too powerful. And Gervonta gets caught slipping maybe. He doesn't even get caught slipping. He just gets bullied in the clinch. He gets pushed up against the ropes. And the power is too much. The size is too much. Or 3. They both kind of play around. They both go back and forth, and they're both laughing at each other in the ring because they both know that there's 100,000 people watching. I don't know what State Farm Arena. I don't know how many people are in that arena. There's thousands of people watching them, and millions, 100 million people watching them around the world, and all that money's going to them. So those are three ways a fight can go. It could be a pretty boring fight, and just they brought all the eyes there. Guys, let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm sure I miss a lot of things in this. This is just nuts that this is happening. Jake Paul reviving boxing, of course. He's the reason all these big fights are happening, and he's making one of the biggest fights ever again. Gervonta Davis clearly doesn't have the passion for the sport, trying to make a bag, and he's dipping. He doesn't like boxing anymore. He said it, and it's pretty obvious. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment whatever you want. Yeah, like, subscribe. It's free, man. Peace out.